Hello everyone, I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television. Thanks for taking the time to learn about the candidates for this year's 2019 City Council election. This is going to be a mail-in ballot election, which means you should get a pretty large envelope in the mail from the Missoula County Elections Office. If you don't, please call this number and find out what your status is. As a voter. The number for the elections office is 258-4751. Well, I'm happy to introduce Alan Ault. Alan, welcome. You are a council candidate for Ward 4.
Yes.
And I've given the same questions to all of the candidates, and invited them to come here with responses. So here you go with your very first one. What had inspired you to seek this office?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, the ever-increasing tax bill that we give for both home and business. And then talking to people more and more about their taxes, and then seeing a lot of the building that's going on around town, what happened with the Merc, and how people had the diverse opinions, what should be done. And I just started detecting, hey, there's some problems with what's going on downtown, problems with the people. And then like the roads, the maintenance of the roads has just been terrible, and more and more I talk to people, the more and more I'd hear complaints. So I decided, well, maybe it's time to do something, especially when I'd see really a lot of non-diversity on city council. Most of the votes on critical items are always 11-1, and it's like, what's really going on? So the more and more I dug into it, the more and more I decided, maybe it's time for me to run.
All right, good for you. And so how have you undertaken this? How have you campaigned?
Well, the basis of my campaign is door knocking. I'm going for Ward 4, which is, I'll always call it Mansion Heights. Mansion Heights down to like South Avenue, and then part of the university area to Paxson. That's Ward 4, and I'm just going door to door, knocking, talking with people, and learning what I can, hearing their problems, what their concerns are, and that, and then the people that are happy to put up my signs. So it's door knocking and signs.
Right, and that's the segue. Like with all the door knocking and all the conversations, what have you learned from your potential constituents? What's on their minds?
Well, what I'm finding from them is a lot of them have the same opinions and concerns that I do. And that's good, because one of the reasons I want to stress this, I'm running for the people. And I want to do what the constituents want. If the majority of the people want something that I personally don't agree with, that doesn't mean I'm going to do with what I agree with. I'm going to do what they want. And that's what it's all about. Now, I've got a lot of the people, like I said, agree with me. They're really concerned with taxes. I've had a number of people saying that their houses are for sale. They're moving out. They're moving down to in the valley, out to Frenchtown or down to Hamilton, Stevensville, because it's cheaper to live. They said, the cost of living here is just going through the roof. They're concerned with services. I hear a lot about, especially with winter coming up, a lot about the snow plowing, the crime rate going up, and you don't hear a lot about it. But it's been very interesting, because what I have done, I've gone on some rides with the police, and that's really an eye-opener. Yeah. But so that's the type of thing I'm hearing from them.
Yeah. Okay, and from your point of view, what is the biggest challenge you want to help Missoulians overcome?
I think the biggest challenge is the way we're spending our tax dollars. I've maintained that the city has a spending problem, not a revenue problem. What I hear from other people that don't agree with my philosophy and what I'd like to see done is I'm all for cutting essential services. I have never said that. Nothing could be farther from the truth. If anything, I've said that we need to beef up our police department, first responders, fire department. That's the big three things where our tax dollars should go for. But what I want to see is more transparency with how we're spending our tax dollars. I'm also hearing, oh, no, we have enough revenue, what we need to do, or we have revenue, but we need more money. We need to go out and get other revenue sources. And which means, okay, you approach the state and try to change things on a state level. Well, what happens? Those end up being taxes.
Those local option taxes people have discussed.
Yeah, and that's another one. But the thing is, with that, first of all, nothing that has to be changed at the state level,
right,
not the local level. And something like that won't come up until around 2023, 2022, 2023. So that's down the road. And if you look, people really need to study what's happened with Whitefish. Who's really paying into that? That, again.
You mentioned Whitefish because they have a local tourism tax
yes,
or
they
something.
Do. Yeah. But they have less than 5,500 people there.
Right.
And it's you hear all kinds of numbers thrown around, and people use the numbers to benefit them. And I just don't believe in that. I like facts as facts, and it's hard to get the real numbers. And see, again, that gets with transparency. For example, what I hear is, what is the water company really costing us? Nobody can give me a number. You hear it's all over the place, and it's what is being said to benefit people's agendas. And I just don't operate like that. I want transparency. I want things that you can chase down and understand really where the money's going.
Okay, so that's a challenge. You want to help people overcome transparency in government regarding finances, for instance.
Right. And with the spending, I really believe we can solve a lot of our problems. And we've got a lot of problems coming up. The homeless situation, that's a big problem, and there's a lot of opinions and diverse opinions. And for something like that, there's no right answer. It's like, what's the best answer? And what's the best answer for our city?
Okay, what on the positive side, though I guess solving problems is very positive, what are some of the great opportunities City Council can help Missoulians realize?
Well, I think what we can do, we have a great city. Everybody loves it. We've got a vibrant downtown. I think really it gets back to, we can keep things going. We have parks, trails, everybody likes that. There's a problem with upkeep, money for upkeep. It all gets down to spending. There are a lot of good opportunities for growth if we do it smart. Like I said, the trails, the roads, it's all about how we spend the money and being transparent.
Okay, and here you go, closing remarks of your choice. Whatever you want to say, to say to the potential voters of Ward 4, I'm your person.
Well, first of all, I believe that the responsibility of city government is police, fire protection, schools, and roads. It's not to provide housing for people. Though it's to provide avenues to make it easy for the private sector to provide housing. A lot of the city government is to make things easier for people, easier for small business. I'm a very pro small business. I want to stop the frivolous spending. Again, what I'd like to see is a zero-based budget where every year, it's a lot more work, but every year you're looking at seeing what we're spending our money on, how we're going to spend it. And then the other thing that's really missing is, how are we doing? What's the current budget? What have we spent? What's committed? Wouldn't you like to see that on a monthly basis so you just have an idea how the city's going? You go into the city website and my gosh, it's a real quagmire. Try to find out what MRA is doing. But I think we have a lot of problems facing us, like I said, crime, homeless, the roads, traffic congestion, pollution. But with the help of the people, we can overcome those. There's no doubt in my mind. We get the right people in there, and we open up more dialogue, more ideas. I think we really can solve a lot of our problems and keep Missoula the great place it is to live and make it better than what it is now. So to enable me to do that, I need your vote. I really would like your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan, for taking the time. And thank you, dear viewer, for taking the time to learn a little bit about this race. We've just visited with Alan Ault. He's a candidate for Ward 4 in the Missoula City Council race of 2019. Once again, this is a mail-in ballot race, so you should be receiving a large envelope from Missoula County Elections Office. If you do not, please give them a call. They want to help you participate in our local democracy. The number at Elections Office, if you do not receive a ballot, if you have questions about filling out that ballot or returning it, 258-4751. Well, for MCAT, I'm Joel Baird. Thanks for watching.